This is Gabriella. Hey, excuse me. Hey. Thank you. This is Gabriella. She is a female eclectus parrot, and she came to us about 2 months ago through an animal shelter in our area that needed to find a place for her to go. She was an owner surrender to them, and she is 6 years old. So Gabriella came to us originally when she was turned into a local animal shelter. The animal shelter took one look at her and didn't necessarily recognize what type of parrot she was. Female eclectus parrots are not all that common in the United States, and so they immediately picked up the phone and contacted us. They also noticed while she was with them that she had some deformities on her foot, and so the immediate assessment was that there was a trauma that had been sustained and that she needed emergency medical veterinary assistance. And so we went to go get her that day. We were expecting to take her immediately to the vet's office, which we did, but come to find out that it is actually a congenital birth defect and not an immediate trauma that needed to be taken care of. So there's nothing that we can do for her deformed feet. It's just how they are and how she has lived her entire life, so she doesn't know any different, which we think is great because she just acts like a normal bird. But it's a case of where for us, the maCares Animal Relief and Emergency Services Fund was able to be used if we really needed to in that immediate time frame. So our response time between getting the call and getting her was literally the time it took to drive across town, which was 30 minutes. And then she was off to the vet's office getting assessed and making sure that our exotics coordinator, her suspicion was correct, that it wasn't an actual trauma that needed to be addressed, but that it was a birth defect, and that was supported by the veterinarian. The maCares Animal Relief and Emergency Services Fund has helped Gabriella and many like her in a multitude of ways, both emergency medical treatment that is needed and also emergency medical supplies. To date, we've helped 57 different species, and each one of them has a different diet, a different housing arrangement that they need, different toys that they need, and so it's hard to keep 57 different types of supplies in stock. And so in cases like Gabriella, where she needed emergency services as well as special accommodations for her cage. So while she is a parrot and we do have bird cages that are around the office, she needed extra perches because she can't use those feet quite the way that a normal bird does. And so rather than having, 4 or 5 perches in her cage, she has more like 10 perches in her cage. And so in order to make sure that she was able to move about and get where she needed to, we had to go get extra supplies for her. We also had to get food and veggies, fresh veggies, and fruit that they really like to have. I think one of the things that's really nice for Red Dog Farm Animal Rescue Network and for the maCares Animal Relief and Emergency Services Fund to be able to do is to help the variety of animals that are out there. I think as a society, we get really caught up in the dogs and the cats and what's happening to them. And I think sometimes we forget that there are other animals such as horses and snakes and chameleons. You would be surprised how sensitive a chameleon can be. And the needs that they have, animal neglect and animal abuse, isn't just an isolated incident to one species. It's really across the board. And so we're really trying to combat that both in a reactive response with the animals that are in emergency need, but also to be proactive in those efforts and being able to reach out to educate folks on what the animal truly needs, either as they adopt them or as they come to us being interested. And I also think that a contribution to the maCares Fund is a great way to let the kid have a hamster or let him have a guinea pig or support a snake that you really don't want at home, but you can say, look, we're helping the snakes, sweetie. Now we don't have to get one. Huh. Is that funny?